Hey guys, Adam here. In this video, I want to talk about 4 reasons not to support gay marriage. Now, I want to be very specific in the words I use. I'm not against homosexuals, I'm not against bisexuals, I'm not against all that stuff. I'm just against gay marriage, or I don't support gay marriage. And I have 4 reasons why. And the first reason is because God says it's wrong. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, I don't believe in God or separation from church and state. You know, how does that apply to the first one? We should listen to God even if we don't like God, because God knows what's best. And what I mean by that is, one of the commandments is thou shalt not kill. Now, I think everyone agrees we shouldn't kill people, just go around killing people, just because that's not a good thing to do. God happens to say, don't go around killing people. So as you can see, doing what God says, not because God said so. You can do what He says because He said it, or you can do it just because it's a good thing to follow. The same with lying. You know, if you go around lying to everyone, then no one's going to trust you and no one's going to want to be your friend, and it's going to be very miserable for you. So you can either listen to God and not lie, or you can just not lie because it's better for you. So as you can see, when God is against something, there's probably a good reason for it. So that's the first point. Now, I know all the non-Christians, all the atheists are not going to listen to that, or they might, I don't know. But the second part, and this is, they've all touched on this, and I have to give a shout out to some of the people that make videos on YouTube about 10 of the worst arguments that support 10 of the worst arguments against gay marriage by Jacqueline Glenn. So I've got to thank her for that video, because I did get some insight and to some of the points I got to argue against. The second point is that gay marriage does devalue the sacredness of marriage. God made marriage to be between one man and one woman together forever. And when you redefine marriage to allow a man to marry a man, it does devalue the whole concept of marriage. So basically, God has defined marriage as one man and one woman together forever, but now you're redefining marriage. How are you defining marriage? Okay, and they teach in schools, you know, to kids and stuff, and they always say, well, you know, they bring up, well, if 2 men love each other, why can't they get married? So then, are you defining marriage as if 2 people love each other, why can't they get married? And everyone knows this will quickly escalate to, and you know, if I love my dog, or if I love my goldfish, why can't I marry my dog? Why can't I marry my goldfish? And then I got to thank Jacqueline Glenn and the atheists. Or no, I don't know. I think she's an atheist. She probably is. I got to thank people like that will bring this up, because she said, and I got to thank her for this, that it's not about just if you love someone, it's about it's a consensual thing. They argue that a dog can't consent to be, for you to marry your dog. And there's 2 major issues with that, of course. One is, you've got to really derail all of marriage and morality if the only thing preventing you from marrying your dog is that your dog can't consent. You've got to see that's a huge problem with your concept of morality. But you also got to see that it's not true that that's really what it's all about. It's not really about consent. They just threw that in there because without it, then yes, you have to, unless you're a hypocrite, you have to argue that you can marry your dog too because you love your dog. And so it does devalue the sacredness of marriage between one man and one woman together forever. Now it's just marry whoever you want. Marry who you love. Okay, so if a man loves a man, they can get married. Oh, but to argue the consent part, I think a dog could consent. You know, he runs up to you, he wags his tail. But if I give you that, what do you have to say to if a 60-year-old father marries his 20-year-old son? Is that still wrong? They love each other, they can consent. Is that still wrong? What about, you know, if their 20-year-old son marries his 60-year-old mother? Is that wrong? What if a 40-year-old brother marries his 40-year-old sister? Is that wrong? What if a 40-year-old brother marries his, 20-year-old sister's child? You see what I'm going with this? It's not about consent, anymore. It's really, how do you define marriage? God said one man and one woman. But the whole problem with this gay marriage thing is you're redefining marriage. And how are you defining it? It's not clear. And you can't, God has made it clear for us. But when you go from that, it's not clear anymore. And as you can see, when you redefine it, you really open the doors to basically anything. You do open the door to pedophilia and bestiality and pretty much anything you can think of. That's what it opens the door to. That's the unhypocritical, honest truth about it. And that's the second reason, because it devalues marriage. The third reason is the lifestyle of having unlimited sex with whoever you want, men, women, whatever. That is going to open up the door to all sorts of diseases and stuff. And on the CDC's website, the Center for Disease Control, there's a statistic on there, I don't know if it's still on there, that says that homosexual couples are 50 times more likely to get AIDS. But it's not just about AIDS, it's about just you're opening up the door to all sorts of diseases when you embrace these lifestyles, I guess you could call them. I don't really define them as a lifestyle, I just find it as like an activity. Whether you think it's a choice or not, when a man chooses to marry another man, that is his choice. He does choose to do it. So it opens the door to all these diseases. But then you might argue, well, we could just make vaccines and stuff, to prevent all the disease and stuff. But then I had to say, why should hundreds of thousands or even millions of people have to die to support your lifestyle? Why not just, quit doing it? And, we should quit supporting it. There's no reason for it. Just if it does open the door to all these diseases, and it's abominable. Now, the fourth reason is the reason where most people are going to turn off their ears if they haven't already. But if you just think about the first three reasons I gave you, just the first three, does any of it at least make any sense, any point at all? Am I reaching anyone? Anyone? Well, regardless, the fourth reason is once you have opened the door to you being able to marry your sister, your brother, your dad, your mother, your dog, your cat, pedophilia, and all these things, you have thrown out God's law, you've thrown out God, you have basically opened the door to full-blown Satanism. Well, now, what do I mean by that? Well, in Aleister Crowley's The Book of the Law, the whole of the law is do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. What does that mean? Do whatever you want shall be the whole of the law. That's what Satanism is. No rules, no right, no wrong, I'm free. Do whatever you want. And that's kind of what atheism is, right? There is no one telling you what to do. You can do whatever you want. That's kind of what atheism is. But this is not geared towards atheists, this is just about gay marriage. When you support gay marriage, you're supporting the domino effect, the ripple effect, that's going to allow this sort of mindset to really do whatever you want. If it feels good, do it. And that's really, really bad. If you can't see that, then you don't want to. So that is the fourth reason, is that it opens the door to do whatever you want. Man, that is dark. Okay. Well, in conclusion, guys, I hope you liked the video. I'm not a hater, I'm not hating you. It's just that if you look at this objectively, and you can look at it from a religious perspective, it's easier. But if you just look at it from an objective perspective, you do kind of have to allow all the stuff if you support gay marriage. It does kind of just go in line with it. Okay, thanks y'all for watching, and God bless, and have a nice day.